Hey everyone, it's Terry again. So I have one of these sink mats from the Dollar Tree, and I decided to make 4 little pictures. So I'm going to divide this into 4, which is basically going to be so it shows, it's hard to see. Alright, so it's almost 11 inches. It probably technically is 11 inches. It's really close to 11 inches, so I'm just going to scoot it down and say that my pictures are going to be 5 inches a piece. Width. And then my length is almost 12 inches. These things say, it says 12.5 by 11, but they're never actually what they say they are. So it's a little more than 12 and a little less than 11. So we'll do 5 pictures will be 5 by 6 inches. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut these off. Cut this label off here. And then I'm going to, if I can get the pause button here, some black chalkboard paint that I got from the Dollar Tree. Very carefully remove that. Take some junk mail here. There's my paint holder. I'm going to brush off a little bit. And then I'm going to paint this whole thing black. And it's going to make a mess, so I suggest you have something good underneath it. I'm not good with spray paint, so I'm probably going to have to use 2 coats of paint on this. But spray paint and I have a long history of trouble. I can never get it without running it. I mean run, so I don't mean just a little every now and then. I try whatever it tells you, 8 inches back or 12 inches back, or I always seem to end up with too much here or not enough there. That's the problem, is I don't get enough on there, so then I overcompensate and push it, and I push it real good, and I just end up with a mess when I do it. So I'll just go ahead and paint this, and then I'll paint it again. Acrylic paint probably be fine. I just really like this chalk paint for, you know, objects other than plastic or wood. Yeah, other than this thing is rubber, so wasn't quite sure how the acrylic would be on it. The good thing about this paint is it doesn't take long to dry. Chalk paint, this is actually chalkboard paint, but chalk paint dries up pretty quick. and it receives the second coat pretty well. I've had acrylic paints, they just take forever to dry, and especially since I'm down in a basement, my paint doesn't dry up as fast as it would if I were upstairs. So, the dampness down here. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry, and I'll be back. Okay, it turns out I will move this and do my skewers. So I'm going to frame, I'm going to make 4 frames. Now these skewers, these are actual skewers I got at a flea market in Paw Paw, Michigan. I love summertime. I love flea markets. I love the fact that you can get this stuff cheap. I paid $1 for a pack. I think I bought out all they had. And then I did find bamboo skewers on Amazon. So I do have some that they're not pointed, so they don't call them skewers, they just call them bamboo sticks. So anyway, what we're doing is we need a little more than 5-inch. So I can easily get the 5-inch ones out of this. So I need 2 per, I can get 2 5-inch. So I need 2 per sign. So, yeah, because here's my 10-inch. There's my 11-inch. So if I go 5.5 inch, anyways, I need 2 per sign. So here's 2 signs. Yeah. So I just need 4. Right? There's 1 sign, there's 2 signs, there's 3 signs, there's 4 signs. So I need 4. And now they're definitely more than 12-inch. So I can get my 6-inch pieces out of here also. So, same thing. There's 1 sign, there's 2 signs, there's 3 signs, there's 4 signs. I don't know why the heck I get so darn confused when I'm measuring and whatnot, and I love it. I absolutely love making things out of wood. I just lose my freaking mind. I'm so logical all the time. I'm always, I don't know what's going on when it comes to tape measures and whatnot. Alright, so Waverly Antique Wax. Oops, let me turn it the correct way. There we go. Waverly Antique Wax. Put it on and wipe it off. I got 2 projects going at the same time. While the paint dries on one, I go ahead and do the other. I see so many. I sit down here and I watch crafting videos, and I think, oh, that's so cool, I need to do that. And then I get things going. Before, I would get things going and I'd never finish them. Now I've made it a rule that I have to finish what I start. So since I'm going to be doing these, whether they're for my house or I decide someday to, do my own flea market. Oops, sorry about that. I've decided that I have to finish everything that I start. So I figure, I already said that part. So I figure, since I'm going to do it anyways, I might as well do it on camera. Right? So even when I fail, it's going to be on camera. Whether I succeed or whether I fail, you're going to see it. So hopefully even if they don't turn out exactly the way I want them to, they'll still turn out decent. But you can always look at it as you can learn from my mistakes, right? Alright, so make sure you got them covered really well. The sides we can always get to when we do the other side. I'm just going to get the tips and all. Might as well cover the whole thing. So I sit down here and I watch crafting videos, but then when I get up to craft, I turn on, well, I like to turn on music, but music doesn't always work out for me because of, you know, things in my life that it reminds me of. But I love to watch Bob's Burgers. I am so addicted to that show. It's not even funny. I watch the episodes so much that I can tell you what they're going to say next, and each time they sing a little song, I already know it by heart. It's crazy. I'm going to go ahead and do the sides now. Just turn them up. Turn them up. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish painting these, and I will see you when they're dry. Okay, so my skewers are all dry. Pretty much dry. I'm going to go ahead and cut them down, and then well, we might have to paint the part where we cut. So I'm going to need 4 of them at 5 inches. I'm going to go just a little bit more than 5 inches. And I'm going to do the same with the others, but I'm going to make them a little bit more than 6 inches. So get your handy dandy ruler and your handy dandy pencil. And I am going to measure these each with the ruler. A lot of times I take one piece and measure the rest, but I'm just going to do them the right way. So I'm going to mark it at 5 1/16 there. And these are real easy to cut with this thing, miter shears. They're real easy, really easy to cut. So you'll make sure you're lined up with that, your little line where you're supposed to, and do that with each one, and they should all turn out well. So you know, if you measure using one piece that you already cut, if one cuts off, then they're all going to be off, you know. So I suppose this is the correct way. Now these are bowed. I haven't found even the bamboo ones, the bamboo sticks that I got from Amazon. I haven't found one yet that isn't, well, not one. I haven't found one pack that isn't bowed. Okay, so what I am going to do is make a little mark on the other side in case. How these going to go in my crocodile. No, I don't need to do that. I call it a crocodile. That's not, that makes holes. I don't know why I do that. Get something stuck in my head. Oh, I forgot to mark the other side. I get a word stuck in my head and then it just comes out for no freaking reason. So anyways, your mark that you already put on, line that up again and go to the 5 1/16 mark. Do that with each one, and then mark these at 6 1/16, and you need 2 of those as well. And then I'll be back. Okay, so I figured out that the 6-inch pieces are not going to work for whatever reason. I can't get, because when I measured the sink mat, I didn't take into account, see, this is every video for me, live and learn, but I gotta do it on camera. I didn't take into account these total black sides. I don't want those in my picture. So I want the little squares, but I don't want this big black bar. So I didn't take that into account. So now I'm just taking one. Yes, and I just said about don't use one piece to measure the rest, but that's what I'm doing because at this point I'm kind of frustrated with myself, I guess. But anyways, I'm just being careful and make sure when I cut that I stay on the inside of the mark. Just make sure that they're even. And this, you know, actually I said that if one cuts off, they're all off, but this way I assure that they're all the same size. Since I'm actually technically marking on the top side of this, that means that I want to stay, when I cut, I want to stay, you know, to the inside of my mark. If that makes any sense at all. I hope it does. So anyway, I'm going to cut these down, and then we'll be good to go. Those pieces just fly. Sometimes. I don't know how people keep them under control. I usually get a bag. But I'm getting ready to tear a lot of this stuff out of here. I'm going to switch rooms before long. Because, yeah, this hurts. You know, I use the table as a brace. So what I do is I move my fingers up, and when I push down, it's actually being pushed by the table. If not, my fingers would just be a wreck. So I just let the table do the work for me, basically. Where's my pencil mark? Oh, there it is. How did I get over there? I don't know how this one ended up like this. Okay. Now, it should work out good. Well, should work out okay. So I'm just going to do a little test run here. Like I said, I don't want that big black bar in there. So, let me put these together. Let's see. Come down a little bit here. Just kind of get the edge of the black right here. And then that's going to put it, I want it inside or outside. Okay, so outside here. And then inside. So, that'll work out fine. It's going to work out fine. I should be able to get, I don't know. I'm not going to be able to get another one out. I'll bring it down a little bit. It's aggravating me. Okay, so to get them all in, this has to be, this piece has to be on the outside of the other. So this piece has to be on the inside of that to get this to work out. So basically all I need to do is cut these down into, cut this mat down, and then, you know, when I put my frame together, These are all the same size pieces, so it's not going to matter. I just can't move them every which way when they're not connected. So that's what my problem is at the moment, is that my pieces are not together. So looks like the best way to put these together is going to be hot glue. So I'm going to put a little dab here, put this together, and then swipe it and let that set for a moment. I am on parchment paper, so make sure, I mean, you can do it. This is on the top of this one, so if we put this on the top of that one, then this one, is that down as low as it's supposed to be? Then this one is not going to fit. So we have to do it the same each way in order for them to work out, because it is not squared. So here we go. This one's on the outside, this one's got to be on the outside. After we get this all done, I'm going to get my other staple gun. I did not like the one I used in my last video. It's a Bradnell gun, and it's too big and clunky, and it's made for, you know, more of an industrial type of thing, not these little crafts. So there we go. So this is how we do it. Then just make sure, and I'm only going to glue one end at a time here. Hopefully you can see me here on camera. So put a dab of glue on, get it up there where it needs to be, close her up even. Always wipe off your excess right away so it doesn't, and it is sticking to my parchment paper, or you know, my table. So as soon as it dries up a little bit, then I just slide it, and of course it's parchment paper, so it comes right off. Okay, so now I have this. We're going to glue it to it. Do the same thing. Set it down so it's kind of squared out. I keep wanting to throw this in the garbage. I got my garbage covered with a piece of parchment paper. So, okay, so these are not going to be, what am I trying to say? Strong. These are not strong. These are going to be weak until we don't have to use a staple gun on them, like I said. All we have to do once we get our mat cut is we're going to glue them down to the mat. So that's what will make them strong. So let's glue these together, set them aside. Okay, so this is what I told you. Trying to do them one stick at a time, they were, it wasn't working out for me. So now that I have them glued together, um, they're real flimsy, so you gotta be careful if you do it this way. Anyway, so now I can set them where I want them to be, how much black I want on each side, yada yada yada, and you have plenty of room here to get your four pictures out. So pencil writes real well on that chalk paint. So what you want to do, get it where you want it, and then draw your line. And you're going to cut on the inside of your line. Because we're doing the outside of the frame. If we did the inside, it would cut it off. We wouldn't have enough rubber, matte, whatever we call it at this point, decoration. So just mark each one the way you want it. And I'm going to do one as a trial to see how well it comes out. Okay. There's all these. Break out the handy dandy scissors. And cut. And I said cut on the inside of our pencil mark. The part. It's really easy to cut. Okay, so obviously we're not, that's where our point would be. We don't have that because we have a hole right there. So we just go on to the next piece. Try to stay on the inside of our line, not too, don't go too far inside. But I know it's probably can't see the lines from the camera, but they're there. They're not, it's brown on black, so, but you can see them just fine. Get rid of that. And yeah, it's coming along nicely. I do have some, I don't know if you can see it, but spots there where my paint didn't cover well. And you can fix that if you want. Oops, I forgot to go on the inside of my line. You can paint it, as thick or as thin as you want it to be. I don't think you're gonna see it too much. Stay right on the inside. Okay, so let's clear that parchment paper. Okay, so let's lay this down here. And we're still out, so we're just going to cut a little bit more where the black bar is. We're going to cut that down over there. So a little bit more on the side where the black bar is. So we'll cut those two sides down a little bit, and that's what we're going to have when we're done. And I think it's going to look awesome. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to put in the middle there, but so remember, don't go hog wild. We gotta have enough to stick to our frame. So just a little bit at a time. Maybe 1/8 of an inch. Let's see what we got there. And we're close. Yeah, we're real close. So And the best part is if you cut crooked, you just move your frame around to where it doesn't look crooked anymore. So I have a little bit sticking out down here at the bottom. Let's see what happens if I move it. Yeah, if I move it, I lose too much of the black up here on the top. So let me bring the camera down to see it. So I got more of a black bar at the bottom than I do at the top. Well, this is about perfect. This is the way I want it to look right here. Doesn't that look awesome? I just love the contrast of the antique wax and the black together. I just love that so much. So as far as trimming it goes, you can see this one's a little bit bigger than this one. So, and that's the only one that's sticking out. So we chop that off, and we should be perfect here. And we are. How freaking cute is this going to be on my wall with the other ones? So I'll be back. Okay, so I got all these glued down to the backing. Some of them could use a little touch-up. So now decide which way you're wanting to hang them and what you're going to put on them. So I've decided that I'm going to use these cutouts from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint them white. And I have an ornament that I got at Michael's, and then I have this star. So I'm going to paint all of these white, and that's what's going to go onto my picture frames. And then we'll put a little piece of twine on the back of them, of the pictures there to okay, so this is chalk paint, Rust-Oleum, linen white, and I need a brush that's not already been dipped in black. I'll use this little brush, little chippy brush here. You can fill the holes if you'd like. I'm not going to. I think they're cute. I don't think there's any reason to plug it up. Anyway, making sure I get the sides of them and the bottom. Just make sure they're fully covered. This chippy brush is leaving lines in it, which is cool. Extremely cool. My ornament, you can decorate these things if you want, like paint the tree green, or do the ornament in silver or gold or something to that effect. I just thought with the black background that the white, they're all ornaments, that the white ornaments would look really cool. So with my chippy brush, I don't know if it's going to dry with those lines in it, but it looks really cool that way. So the way I'm going to hang it will be, yeah, that's good enough. Just in case the lines stay in it, I'm going to hang them with the lines straight up and down. A little bit more here. I didn't get the sides of my ornament, did I? Let's get the sides of my star. So there's that. And then my little snowflake. Can hear Bob's Burgers in the background. Sorry about that. I forgot to pause it. Anyway, just get your things painted the way that you want them painted. Let them dry. Then we'll put them onto the picture frames that are completely 100% DIY'd. That's what I like. I mean, you can use the Dollar Tree signs and stuff, but I don't have any to use. So I don't normally, well, I have bought them like when I first started crafting, but I realize, you know, now I have the saws and everything that I would rather just DIY everything. But for the for this little stuff, we use the, well, I use the miter shears, which works really great. And when you have the bigger wood, the saws work really well. So this is some dried up old paint on here, but it's leaving really cool lines. Make sure I get where my fingers were really well. Okay, so let these dry and I'll be back. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put mine sideways. There are a couple spots where my black kind of peeled up a little bit here, but I don't care. It looks good. You can touch it up, but it just looks good. I think these things are great. They're brown and black contrast. Just, I already said that, but it just does it for me. I did touch up a little bit. I got a little bit of wet paint, but I think I'm going to put that sideways there. So what you're going to do is just even up your, whatever you're putting in there. Ornaments. The star's not an ornament. The star came, well, it came from the Dollar Tree. So anyways, find your, you know, your center, and on this you're going to want to put your glue. You don't want to put your glue on the back of the star because you'll get the glue where these holes are. So you'll want to put your glue on your sink mat here, and you know, make sure you're even, and put her down. Oops, she's not even. There she is. Like that. And then you got a cute little star picture. And this one doesn't matter which way you hang it. So then you're going to do the same thing with the rest of them. Find your center point And that's going to be right here. And I'm going to put some glue up here and down here. And then put my little, oops, I got too much glue for that. Let me get that off there. I'm going to use this, because I had too much glue for the snowflake. Boy, oh boy, got glue everywhere now. I'm so good at this crafting thing, aren't I? Oops. I'm sure I'm not the best, but I'm sure I'm not the worst. Well, I could be the worst. I don't know. Depends on what you judge me on, I guess. Ability to think ahead is not one of my strong suits, and I'm stuck to the pad. So I have cutting, they're actually those clear cutting pads from the Dollar Tree down below. So I moved my green cutting pad somewhere, but I can still cut, and I can still paint and whatnot on this. So this time I just want to dab, a dab, and then a dab. I don't want to go and, you know, get too much here and there and everywhere, because the snowflake is a little different. Okay. Just center them and stick them. I did still got too much glue. So scoop some of that off, and that's where my paint comes off, so I will have to touch these up. Just rubbing this on there brings that paint right off. Can't get a hold of that little chunk of glue there. Anyway, little touch of black there. For Pete's sake. For Pete's sake. This one just got glue globs. There's no way I'm going to get those out without a knife. Just kind of cut it. Cut it like that. Like that, and then try to poke it out. I don't want big glue globs on it. I mean, a little bit is fine. So I'm going to paint over this here. A little tiny brush. Here we got it. Okay. Yeah, I don't want super huge glue globs. It's not going to be cute. So everything I do now, just touch up. Okay, so getting this centered. Do I want it straight up, or do I want it off to the side? I think I want it off to the side. So find the center, which is going to be right here. Put some glue down. And then find the center again. And I have 4 cute little pictures. So real quick. So, you know, I come down here and I craft to kind of get away from my problems. But sometimes my problems follow me down here in the form of the telephone, or, you know, somebody just giving me a hard time talking about things that I just don't want to talk about, or, you know, things are happening that I just don't, you know, they happen. You have to deal with them. But once you know it's happening, or it's already happened, you don't want to just keep talking about it. And that's one problem that I have, you know, with other people, is tell me what you have to say and then just leave me alone. If you, especially if you make a decision without me. If you make a decision without me, then don't include me when the problems arise, because I didn't make the decision, you did. I didn't have anything to do with that decision, so that's very aggravating, and it really really bothers me. When somebody bothers me with the problem because of a choice that they made. You made the choice, just leave me out of it now. Tell me, well, no, I need you to do this and you need to do that. No, I'm not the one that did this. Anyway, I'm sure that that's just life, right? I'm sure it is, but having a short, I don't know, I suffer from anxiety. I suffer from severe depression. I mean, it's called major depressive disorder. It just doesn't sound as severe as it really is. I also have post-traumatic stress disorder from, losing my child. Children would happen to perform CPR on one to no avail, He didn't live. I didn't do it right. Why do I... Oh, here's a good idea. Poke that hole with white. And it's not so noticeable. I have to live with this for the rest of my life. And when I come down here, I want to get away from that. I don't need you to add more on it. I know I have issues, and I know that life, you have to deal with what you're dealt with. Not what you're dealt with, but what you're dealt. So that's it for the white dots. I just want to be left alone. I know that being alone all the time is lonely. So I'm not saying that I want to be alone in my life, but I mean, for crying out loud, there's only so much a person can take. Okay, so here are my pictures. Let me bring this down here so you can see them. Look at how pretty they are. And you can, hang them apart from each other or together. I think they look really cute together, don't they? Anyways, it's farmhouse-ish, isn't it? So anyways, there they are. Let me know what you think. I hope you like them. I really do. I hope you'll come back. I hope you'll hit like and subscribe. I really do appreciate your time. I almost forgot about putting hangers on these, about how you're going to hang them. I was seriously thinking about gluing mine together because I like the way they look together so much. But all you need to do is take a thin piece of twine. I don't want twine sticking up, so you would take it and maybe put a little knot in it here. If your fingers work better than mine. My fingers are getting really bad now. The arthritis is taken over. It kind of went rapid. Like, it started off slow, but I mean early age. So it started off kind of slow, and then just all of a sudden, bam, I got arthritis. Anyways, take it and put a knot, cut enough, give you another knot. Another little knot in here. On here, I guess you would say. Keep it towards the end. And then hot glue them. And you'll be able to hang it up without seeing the twine. If you want to see the twine, then you would, cut off piece however big you would want that twine to be. If you want it, you can use thicker twine, you can use rope, which rope would kind of be big for these little tiny things, but anyways, yeah, you can do it like that, any which way. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked it.